Right, I'm taking a detour now, a little tour of Dee, because every story starts with a name. I really don't want to get into too much literal facts about my life. It's only interesting to me to look at myself, to know myself. And I've found mostly people aren't really interested in each other's stories. They don't often pretend to be. It's just to make conversation normally, isn't it? So I just want to explain where the name Dee came from. I was given two completely different names, one at birth. Well, I suppose from my birth mother, I don't actually know that for certain. But then I was adopted around 3 months old and given a new name, Deborah. So I've always been known as Debbie. And it wasn't until I was in my 40s that I discovered the other birth name, Deanna. But as it turns out, both names start with the letters D and E, and hence that's where I get the name Dee from. It's pretty simple, really. See, it's just an ordinary, mundane story. But what is interesting about the name is the letter D. Because if you look at the shape of it, it looks like a convex lens, and that's my eye to see with. I've got special features on my lens, like zoom and magnification. Powers of observation have always been a bit of a specialty with me. And by always, I mean for as long as I can remember. Yeah, I've taken my fair share of detours, experiencing the literal physical world, and sampling all the enticements of the system. I was always thinking there might be something that I like. There must be. But really, I did know deep down inside that it was all fake. So there was nothing that could hold my interest for very long. And so, therefore, I've been accused of not being very much fun. Which I understand, but you see, I've always known it's the system that isn't fun to me. I can be fun. It's just the system. And so intrinsically, I've known that, even if I wasn't able to put that into words. So I've always come back to my straight and narrow path of observing the world, examining myself very closely, and figuring this game out. I've got a ways to go yet. Now, the letters D and E are a prefix, which denotes the reversal in the meaning in a word. For example, the word program. If you put a D and E in front of it, then you get deprogram. And I just like to take it a step further and play with the sounds, because I can. And anybody can, when they realize that they are not bound by the rules and the regulations of the spell inks. And Kate of Gaia also describes the letter D as half a mirror. Yep. And the D note in music is defined as a whole tone above a C. Do you see? Possibly not, but it's okay. Because it's all part of my story, or the mystery. Stir, S-T-E-R, means divine feminine energy. So notice words which contain it, like register. And regis means to rule over the stir, the divine feminine energy. All names are registered. They are illegal to use because it's a crime to use someone else's copyrighted material. And it becomes Crown copyright owned when it's entered into the birth registry. And what you need to know here is that it's not the name as such, but it's the body of the works that is copyrighted. Okay, and so what do you occupy? A body? So when you agree to use the name that has been entered into the Crown Registry, and all names across the planet that are registered are in fact Crown registered, then you are acting in your body exactly like an actor on a stage or in a film as a representative of that name. Yep, that means that you are therefore owned. Your divine feminine energy, the very essence of you, is in the body, and the body of the works, the name, is Crown copyright owned. So all I'm saying is know what you are choosing, because you have been taught that you have no choice. You have to use a legal name and follow along in the system. But I know what I am here for. As I asked myself that question when I was a very young child, and I actually remember the moment that I did it. And I set about with the purpose of answering it until I did. So I'm here to co-create a new paradigm. If you remain ignorant to the possibilities, if you choose to stay tethered to the legal system with a legal name, giving away your divine feminine energy to the rules, the regis of the system, then you are contract. A con is a trick. Trapped. Yeah, you are being trapped. Unless you choose to derail. And you are subject to all the system includes. So all the death and destruction. Because the system is self-destructive, and you therefore are going to die. If that's what you choose. Hey, you didn't know that you are a creator, did you? But how could you know when your divine feminine energy is ruled over from outside of you? Divine feminine energy is creative energy, and even the idea of being ruled over from an outside authority is really just an illusion. Like I said, nothing is actually outside of you. It's all in the mind. And identity. But I realize that's going to be hard for you. Okay, one step at a time. The choice is clear. Do you choose to be a co-creator of the real world? Or do you want to continue to be a loyal subject to the fake one with a legal name? It's down to you, remember. Do you want to know your real self? I'll try to explain this in a slightly different way, because if I explain this in different ways, maybe it'll become a little clearer. What goes on in the world, in the fake reality, the legal world, which is the world you live in, happens as an extension of your own mind, everyone's minds, collectively, creating that reality together. So the purpose is, of course, to take you further and further away from yourself, to be further lost in the maze. This is how technology, and it's all human creation, right? It's you, by whatever participation you choose to have in it. Whether you're an actual programmer or a developer or just using the technology, you are probably you're in the next level of this game. You just choose your avatar and go deeper into the matrix. It's easy to do. You see, you are already lost inside a programmed biological computer robot suit. The ro, which means spirit breath, body, it's a motorized suit with flesh and bones run by a computer brain. And did you hear the word bot in robot? Bought, B-O-U-G-H-T. Bought and sold on the market. That's what slavery is. But it's just a simple choice. You can choose not to consent to that by not consenting to the legal name in the legal system. All of physical reality can be described as a maze. And it's a projection, all of it, exactly like a movie projection of the mind. Your mind, each individual mind. And each path within it contains all the events of that individual's daily life. And it keeps circling around and around to the same starting point. Continuously, minute by minute. Though the dreamer who thinks he or she is awake and alive is completely unaware. It looks different enough to give the illusion of there being some sort of progression in a linear fashion. And though everyone's experience within it is different, it's all still within the same maze. Therefore, everyone is essentially dreaming the same sense of so-called reality. So when you get the legal name fraud and you find the door out of the maze, the phonics is the key to unlock it. So stepping out of it means that you do leave it. You walk a narrow, tight, dark path. Okay, this is the garden of delight, the reversal of the light. So the dark path, leaving behind the false light of the maze. Keep going, eventually you will get out completely, but some can't even walk out. Some do, and then they hover just outside, either stepping in and out or just staying stuck. But emotions keep them there. The rest of us, we might be walking very slowly. Even occasionally maybe taking a detour. A diversion, jumping on a slow boat to China, or we could just figure this out and just run down that narrow path. I can describe, scribe means to write this in Dee Tales, but the problem is I cannot write enough books to accommodate all the information. Anyway, this is how it is. I am selfish, in a way, because I just want to get the hell out of here. But it's not exactly like that, because, well, look, I can't do anything about you. If you want to stay where you are, in a dream that you're pretending is a nice dream, but it's really a frickin' nightmare. But it's your choice, right? It's none of my business what you do. If but one shall awaken, if you heard that one. I don't care who gets to play the hero here. It can be me or you, whoever, as long as somebody wakes the hell up and transforms it all. Because whether you wish to change or not is irrelevant to me, but I am out of here. So if it's me, then great. I'll do what it takes, yeah? Because in my true heart of hearts, I wish for all of you. Every last one. You know, it's hard to wish nice things on some of the people out there, because there are some people who are acting very nastily. But even them, yes, every last one, I wish to come with me in the real world, not to stay in this hell. Yeah, well, if you think it's just me who's saying all this stuff, God no. There's nothing new under the sun. Listen to Bill Donahue. Go to YouTube and find this one, number 651, meditation. Oh, there's loads of people saying, it's really interesting, it's all coinciding, and loads of people saying exactly the same thing at the same time. No actual communication between us. And at the same moment, we're saying pretty much the same thing, but completely independently and in very, very different ways, but exactly the same information, the same truth. So truth is truth, right? So there are no variation. There are variations in how it's presented, but the truth itself does not vary. But I can't actually direct you to any other sites. Because for me, I cannot promote anyone who's trying to use the information, to use truth, to promote their own products, whether it's books or something else, something that they want you to join. No, I don't do that. So there isn't anyone else that I can trust apart from Kate of Gaia. You can go to kateofgaia.wordpress.com. She says it all that you need to know if you want more information, if you just want to branch out and hear somebody else's version of things. She says it better than me anyway, but it's all there. You can read everything or go to YouTube. She has videos of her writings, and there are archives of years and years of radio shows. They're all brilliant to listen to. So there's no shortage of information that's available, and Kate, I trust Kate because she would never sell truth. She's not asking for money, like me, you know. We do this freely because truth is free. We know that. And there aren't very many others, there's just a few. But anyhow, next time you decide to take a detour, just make sure that you're taking a trip to truth.